Hi, welcome to Metaverse Masterclass. How many of us actually know what Metaverse is? What are the technologies behind it? And most importantly, how can we invest in Metaverse? Empire Global Partners decided to make a course where you will find answers to everything you wanted to ask. For those who do not know us, let us introduce ourselves. Empire Global Partners is an international consultancy firm that has served clients from all over the world, with a network of attorneys, accountants, and consultants who are pioneers in strategic legal planning for online casinos, banking, and cryptocurrency. They represent hundreds of cryptocurrency companies and several cryptocurrency exchanges where top tokens are traded. The creator of this and our other webinars is Lionel Eyrich, the expert on the topic of cryptocurrency at Empire Global Partners. Lionel is well known across the globe as an expert in the cryptocurrency, online gaming, and international business space, representing thousands of companies. Lionel is Senior Managing Counsel for Empire Global Partners, and he's a legal counsel and advisor for hundreds of companies in over 40 countries. Before we get started, I want to direct your attention to our email address, info@empireglobal.partners. This is the best way to get in touch with us about anything we go over here today, and we love hearing from you. We welcome all questions and comments. Please use this email to send your questions. They will come directly to our representatives, who monitor this email 24/7. So I assure you that you will receive a reply to all of your questions quickly and confidentially. All content provided here is for informational purposes only and is not to be substituted for legal advice. A money business is a highly regulated sector, and all steps that you take when considering starting or operating your exchange must comply with the law. The experts at Empire Global Partners have worked with thousands of clients to help them make the right decisions for their particular situation and jurisdiction, and minimize any extra costs or fines that could arise from legal oversight. It is highly recommended to get in touch with your legal team as soon as possible about this process. In this first part, we're going to talk about the Metaverse concept and define what is the Metaverse, what technologies are contributing to building the Metaverse, and how you can invest and benefit from Metaverse. So, in this course, you will learn what is Metaverse, where to find it, who will build it, how to use it, and how to benefit. Let's see what we will cover in this first part of the course. We will talk about unavoidable notions such as MR, gaming, Web3, blockchain, and of course about NFTs that are changing the internet. The Metaverse is here, the place where we will work, play, and socialize in the coming years and decades. In a digital world, how we view, use, and define money will go beyond its current limitations. But what is Metaverse? Let's get into it. The term Metaverse was first mentioned in 1992. Neil Stephenson, author of the science fiction story Snow Crash, who in this book describes the merging of the classic world with the world of virtual reality. This term has become relevant in the last 10 years with the development of virtual reality technologies. In the last few years, this term has been increasingly mentioned in the development of 3D gaming and 3D internet technologies, VR, AR, mixed reality, and holograms, including the development of crypto technologies. The development of crypto technologies and markets is called Web 3.0 by many, and it is, therefore, logical to call the next phase of development Web 4.0. Problems in defining the Metaverse begin when it is necessary to explain in a little more detail this merging of the real and virtual world. The Metaverse is a three-dimensional, permanent, online ecosystem that connects a variety of virtual worlds. It's like a futuristic version of the internet. The Metaverse will allow users to cooperate, meet, play games, and socialize in these 3D settings. Metaverse is a virtual world that you can go to and experience. You can do whatever you want. Go to a party, have a meeting, organize an exhibition or a concert. You can buy and sell and do many things which you do in real life. In this situation, you'll have a single avatar who can freely go from one place to the next, from one game to the next, and from the Facebook metaverse to Microsoft, Google, or Fortnite metaverses. And, as if it had just walked from one area to another, this avatar will preserve its appearance, dress, contacts, and other attributes. The metaverse uses virtual reality and augmented reality technology for creating virtual spaces where users can live like real life. The metaverse could be the next place where you want to spend time, meet your friends, or earn some money. Non-fungible tokens are the primary medium of transaction. The concept is a virtual world that you would access through a VR headset or console, such as a PlayStation. It's like living in a video game where you have your avatar. While the technology that will support individual metaverses is still under development, companies that can afford it are using existing online gaming platforms as a way in. While the metaverse isn't fully in existence, metaverse-like elements can be found on a variety of platforms. At the moment, video games provide the most realistic metaverse experience. Developers have stretched the bounds of what a game can be by staging in-game events and creating virtual economies. It should also be mentioned what the metaverse is often, but incorrectly compared to. For example, metaverse is wrongly defined as a virtual world, virtual space, virtual reality, new UGC platform, app, or game. Although each of these comparisons is part of the metaverse, they are not really the metaverse. Interest in shared virtual worlds has grown in recent years. A key player is Facebook, now Meta, whose founder Mark Zuckerberg has said building a metaverse will be the realization of an idea he was interested in before he even dreamed of social networking. At the same time, Microsoft has announced that it is working on building the enterprise metaverse. Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta are all paving the way toward this new reality of business. But companies are working behind the scenes building an immersive reality, modeling, and simulation technologies that will ultimately power metaverse. According to Statista, the AR/VR combined market is expected to reach close to $300 billion by 2024 and another $100 billion by 2030, as predicted by Morgan Stanley. Mixed reality, an enhanced version of augmented reality in which users can interact with virtual items, is still in its early stages of development for many organizations. But the current use cases provide a glimpse into what might be feasible in the not-too-distant future. Artificial intelligence, AI, augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, are all strongly tied to the concept of the metaverse. Virtual items can be embedded in the actual environment using augmented reality technology. VR is immersing yourself in a 3D virtual environment using 3D computer modeling, one of the most fascinating styles of graphic design. Virtual reality avatars for the metaverse are created by a few distinct software businesses. Download a free plugin called VR Objects from the Adobe add-on site if you have Photoshop, and use it to make VR avatars in Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you may still use Tilt Brush on your VR device to create VR avatars for the metaverse. If you don't have a VR device, you can utilize Google Earth to create 3D cities and structures for your avatar to inhabit. If you don't have any of these apps, you can always create 2D avatars with After Effects and animate them. This will require some post-production. Although, you may be able to participate and enjoy the metaverse without using the glasses and other gear. Most people identify the metaverse with gaming, but the metaverse's founder's overall goal is to transform how people interact with the internet. Thus, there could be many more applications. So far, the gaming industry has been the first to reap the benefits of virtual ecosystems introduction. Realm of Warcraft producer Activision Blizzard, for example, has made more than $8 billion in actual money from this virtual world. According to the predictions of many experts, the gaming industry will expand in the future. There are already about 3 billion gamers worldwide. Technologies such as AR, VR, and 3D graphics, and trends such as streaming services and mobile gaming continue to transform the future of video games. Other drivers include innovative game consoles, mobile devices, and technologies such as facial and voice recognition, gesture control, high-definition displays, and wearable tech. The potential of the metaverse is immeasurable, and the gaming industry is increasingly adopting metaverse. Game companies like Roblox, Epic Games' Fortnite, and Grand Theft Auto already have metaverse-like platforms, which depend on their communities for their business model. The gaming industry has moved from the traditional version to the new world digital avatars and transactions driven by NFT or cryptocurrency. NFT game solutions break the boundaries of the digital world, where players can own virtual items and can rent or lease them for certain cryptocurrencies. Powered by blockchain, metaverse users need cryptocurrency for transactions and whenever they receive rewards. Some characteristics of the metaverse can already be seen in virtual video game worlds. Games like Second Life and Fortnite, as well as work socialization tools like Gather.town, bring various aspects of our lives together in virtual environments. These applications aren't quite the same as the metaverse, but they're close. The well-known Fortnite began as a game, but rapidly evolved into an online space where people socialize and host events. Fortnite is not a metaverse, but nothing is closer to the metaverse today in spirit. In addition to managing Fortnite, which was theoretically a side project, Epic Games has also the second largest independent gaming engine, Unreal. Video games now offer services and features that cross over into other aspects of our lives. Speaking of metaverse, it is inevitable to mention the term that is being heard more and more, and that is Web 3.0. Web 3 represents the next generation of the internet, the one that focuses on transferring power from large technology companies to individual users. Web 3 and Metaverse are not the same. Although both point to a vision of a better, future internet, it is important that these two concepts do not mix. Most people know that Web 1 appeared in the late 1990s and consisted of a list of links and homepages. The websites were not very interactive. The Web 2 version, starting in the mid-2000s, enabled people not only to consume content, but to create their own and publish it on blogs, and later, the emergence of social media platforms raised the sharing of content to new levels. Even though Web 2 has provided the world with fantastic free services, many people demand more control over their data and content. Here comes a Web 3, or Web 3, or Web 3.0. Web 3 users can take part in the protocol's management and operation. This means that people, not simply customers or things, can become participants and stockholders. These shares are referred to as tokens or cryptocurrencies in Web 3, and they reflect ownership of decentralized networks known as the blockchain. You can vote online if you have a sufficient number of these tokens. Owners of management tokens, for example, can use their funds to vote on the future of a decentralized lending protocol. The Decentralized Autonomous Organization, DAO, is a Web 3 concept that describes a group, organization, or collective bound by blockchain-based rules and laws. In a DAO-based shop, for example, the pricing of all of the things, as well as information on who would get payments from the firm, would be stored on a blockchain. The DAO's shareholders would be able to vote on price changes and who gets the money. DAOs eliminate the need entirely for many of the middlemen needed to run an organization, such as bankers, lawyers, accountants, and landlords. The new internet will offer a more individualized and personalized surfing experience, as well as a smarter and more compassionate search helper, and other decentralized benefits that will contribute to the creation of a more equitable web. Although Web3 applications can be created without integrating the metaverse, it is expected that metaverse technology and experience will play a significant part in how many of these applications interact with our lives. This will be accomplished by giving each individual user control over their data and providing a richer overall experience as a result of the numerous improvements that will be implemented. The internet will become immensely more embedded into our daily lives when Web 3.0 arrives. Web 3 is currently a work in progress and isn't exactly defined yet. Big tech companies have already invested in Web 3, but it's also found critics in some big names. By now, you've probably figured out that the metaverse is a combination of virtual reality, augmented reality, and the internet. Its traits may be found in popular video games like Roblox, Fortnite, and Animal Crossing, which you may already be familiar with. The metaverse uses crypto to help create a digital economy. Blockchain technology provides a transparent and cost-effective solution, making it an ideal fit for the metaverse. If we work, interact, and even buy virtual objects in the metaverse in the future, we'll need a secure mechanism to prove ownership. We must also feel secure when moving these objects and money around the metaverse. Finally, if the metaverse becomes such an important part of our lives, we will want to participate in the decision-making process. Gaming provides the 3D part of the metaverse, but it falls short of meeting all of the requirements for a virtual universe that can encompass all aspects of life. Other essential components, like digital proof of ownership, value transfer, governance, and accessibility, can be provided by crypto. While video game creation is more centralized, blockchain enables a decentralized and transparent approach to dealing with the topics. The following are the fundamental properties of blockchain that make it suitable for the metaverse. 1. Proof of ownership in the digital realm. 2. Digital collectability. 3. Transfer of value. 4. Governance. 5. Accessibility. 6. Interoperability. In Part 2, we will talk more about each of those aspects. Blockchains are blocks of data that are compiled together in an immutable form and then provided a unique identity. Generally, after the blocks are registered, they can be accessed by anyone on the network. Once any data has been put on the blockchain in the form of blocks, it cannot be amended further. It is called a blockchain because the data blocks are linked with each other, and each new block is connected and linked to the previous blocks. The blockchain as a service model came up as a follow-up to the software as a service model, which we commonly called SaaS. The software as a service model is dependent upon the fact that small companies could not access expensive software applications because they were too expensive to purchase, license, or deploy. Similarly, blockchain as a service is a cheap mode for building up decentralized applications based on blockchain technology for small companies who are not able to operate their blockchain or operate their decentralized application on the blockchain without keeping in mind the cost consideration. The metaverse will consist of blockchain-enabled decentralized applications that support an economy of user-owned crypto assets and data. In a virtual world, blockchain allows you to possess digital goods. You will not only own NFT in the physical world, but also the virtual world. Furthermore, the metaverse isn't being constructed by a single organization or corporation. Separate organizations will create different virtual worlds, which will eventually interconnect to form the metaverse. People will want to bring their belongings with them as they move between virtual realms. The blockchain will confirm proof of ownership of your digital items in both virtual worlds if two virtual worlds are interoperable. Essentially, you will be able to access your crypto assets as long as you can access your crypto wallet within a virtual environment. We will talk about wallets later in this course. An NFT, non-fungible tokens, is a digital asset that represents real-world objects like art, music, in-game items, and videos. These tokens are based on Ethereum blockchain technology, cannot be replaced by any other value, and are unique in that sense. If we take as an example a real image from the market, NFT token can be considered digital works of art, such as graphics, images, photographs, music, or parts in video games whose value is expressed in Ethereum or Bitcoin cryptocurrency, whose value is later translated into dollars. NFT behaves like a cryptocurrency. It exists on a blockchain, it has value, it can be traded. On the other hand, it is visually striking enough to be better called NFT's creation, or even simpler, NFT's digital assets. These tokens are characterized by uniqueness, just as a work of art can be unique. There are also partially unique tokens, but also those that are more, but are limited in number. Among others, this is a feature that significantly affects the price. NFT is also indivisible. This token cannot be divided into halves or into several parts, but acts exclusively in its entirety, unlike, for example, Bitcoin. One of the largest markets for NFT, more precisely virtual assets, is OpenSea, where there are a variety of GIFs, animations, simple graphics, and whose creators can earn millions of dollars by buying some of these works of art, which we will talk about later in the webinar. In economics, fungible refers to the property of goods and commodities. For example, gold is interchangeable. A kilo of gold in gold bars is as valuable as a kilo of gold in gold coins of the same purity. $10 is $10, regardless of whether it comes in the form of one banknote or 4 coins of $2.50. Non-fungible refers to the fact that there is data that lives on the blockchain and is unique. This uniqueness is expressed by the fact that there is an original, and thus it is suitable for recording various forms of ownership, identity, and rights. Now you understand why it is called fungible and not replaceable. Because NFT can be bought or sold, exchanged, meaning trade, for something else. But two NFTs are not interchangeable, like 2 Bitcoins, for example. Bitcoin will always be worth another Bitcoin, irrespective of their price fluctuations concerning other similar currencies. Although they've been around since 2014, NFTs are gaining notoriety now because they are becoming an increasingly popular way to buy and sell digital artwork. In 2017, the world witnessed the birth of CryptoKitties. NFTs are a unit of data, specifically blockchain-based digital files. But it is important to say that access to any copy of the original file is not limited to the owner of the token. Although the digital files themselves are infinitely repeatable, the NFTs that represent them are tracked on their core blocks and provide customers with proof of ownership of the NFTs. As the NFT principle is based on uploading digital materials to the Ethereum blockchain, this procedure leads to the codification of NFT, which later leads to the establishment of price, ownership, and transfer records, thus preventing digital forgery or file replication. Once shipped, NFT will exist permanently on the blockchain as long as the system itself is operational. There are no two NFTs that are completely identical, because each piece contains unique digital properties. Even if the artist publishes 2 works without clear physical differences, the metadata encoded in each NFT is different. However, what is important to say here is that within the NFT system and tokenization, it is necessary to fully protect intellectual property. Apart from artists, celebrities also have their notable and significant share in NFT token trading. Namely, in 2019, the NBA League released Top Shots, more precisely, short summaries of games in Reels format, which generated $230 million via blockchain. The clip of LeBron James and Zion Williamson alone had a value of $200,000. A well-known musician in the United States, 3Lau, sold his first crypto album through an auction in less than 24 hours for $11 million. YouTuber Logan Paul also sold his NFT, more precisely, his graphical version of Pokemon, for $5 million. NFTs are typically held on the Ethereum blockchain, although other blockchains support them as well. One of the main reasons NFTs have value is their uniqueness. In many cases, there will only ever be a single copy of an NFT, just as there is only one real Mona Lisa, but thousands of reproductions in books, posters, and websites. You can only have one original work of digital art, even if people make screenshots and digital copies. One of the most significant advantages of NFTs from a creator's point of view is that they cut out the middleman. If you are a musician, for instance, who uploads your songs to Spotify, you only receive a portion of the money that Spotify pays. These same intermediaries own the copyright to your song, and so will receive most of the residuals over future years. Spotify also chooses how they present your songs on their platform. If you create an NFT of your song, you can sell it directly to one of your best fans. He or she will know that they have the original, verified, and authenticated in the NFT coding. You, as the creator, keep all the funds paid, except the NFT marketplace's cut, typically about 15%. It also means that creators can continue to earn a share of any profits each time somebody sells the NFT. For example, at a future time, that fan may decide to sell the NFT of your song at a profit. You will get to keep a percentage of that resale, as creators hold the residual rights forever. Creators don't have to give up their copyright when they sell NFTs. NFTs are typically held on the Ethereum blockchain, although other blockchains support them as well. An NFT, non-fungible token, simply represents ownership of an asset. Before choosing an NFT marketplace, you'll first want to decide the kind of digital asset you're interested in buying, selling, or creating. Some of the biggest marketplaces are OpenSea, Rarible, Super Rare, Foundation, Axie, and many more. You can own avatars, land, digital clothes, and other objects in the proposed NFT-powered metaverse, and migrate them across platforms using your crypto wallet. For crypto businesses pushing the technology, interoperability is key. It's not simply about being locked into a single platform from Facebook, Google, or any other tech behemoth. Now that we covered some basic definitions and got the idea of metaverse closer to you, we can jump to part 2 of this course and see how the metaverse works in practice and the technology behind metaverse. In practice, users will engage with the metaverse in the same way they interact with the internet today, with the exception that instead of phones, laptops, and browsers, we will wear virtual reality helmets or augmented reality glasses and use them to surf the internet, communicate, or play. At the same time, your unique virtual start room will most likely be used to transition between all of these sites. All of this will take place in virtual, augmented, or mixed reality VR plus AR glasses in the metaverse, rather than on the screen of your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Virtual reality VR and augmented reality (AR) technology is expected to be the driving force behind three-dimensional virtual worlds for users, where their experiences will further blur the boundaries between real and digital life. The metaverse is somewhat virtual reality (VR), but it also includes several other technological solutions, from classic 2D applications, which are widely used, to 3D space that will connect to the virtual world of the metaverse community. One of the goals is to exist in the metaverse as an individual with our own digital identity and no longer have a bunch of separate accounts for each digital service and product, such as WhatsApp accounts and Facebook profiles. But those apps wouldn't merge. Only our experience of the digital world would become different. Although the extended reality is at the forefront of the metaverse, artificial intelligence is a crucial technology that helps the magic happen behind the scenes. AI is primarily effective for data calculations and forecasts, but it may also be used to improve algorithms for activities such as avatar creation, natural language processing and translation, and world development. Because AI can pay close attention to sensors that detect our bioelectrical and muscular rhythms, it can also improve how we interact in VR by delivering services such as image identification for visually impaired users. AI can also help make experiences more inclusive. Examples of such apps already exist. You might have already heard about Horizon Workrooms or Roblox. Here we must mention Decentraland, an Ethereum-based platform, which seeks to encourage a global network of users to manage a shared virtual world. Decentraland users can buy and sell digital real estate while exploring, communicating, and playing games in this virtual world. Over time, the platform has evolved to implement interactive applications, payments worldwide, and communication with users. Another example is Sandbox, a platform where players can organize their virtual world. It is based on the Ethereum platform for cryptocurrencies. Players can own their own funds in the form of irreplaceable tokens, NFTs, such as plots of land on which they can build. The platform focuses on providing a creative play-to-earn model, which allows users to be both creators and gamers at the same time. Any metaverse that functions requires technology that can scan the real world, produce a 3D model of it, and then transfer that model to the virtual world. And this technology must be fast enough and provide beautiful images, because consumers will find it impossible to immerse themselves in the virtual world if there is input latency or a poor image. Three-dimensional environments are required in the metaverse. Hundreds of 3D modeling tools will be essential for companies aiming to develop a metaverse or VR-related product or service. Apart from creating objects from scratch in applications like Blender, sensors can now be used to rebuild objects in 3D. This can aid in the digitization of artifacts for usage in virtual worlds. New business models, like shopping with virtual clothing fittings or virtual machine testing, can be built with MX or XR. By the way, this is the most straightforward method for developing a metaverse application. Although metaverse arose from dissatisfaction with the impact of companies on our personal lives, it does not make the associated virtual experiences a negative thing. These technologies are not meant to take the place of the real world. Instead, they are intended to expand our reach across the internet, allowing us to share experiences in areas we previously could not. It is up to us to shape how the metaverse will develop, to create the future we want to see. Protocols are crucial parts of blockchain technology that allow information to be transferred automatically, securely, and reliably across cryptocurrency networks. To make blockchain widespread, a system that combines great speed and scalability with the highest levels of security and anonymity is required. The designers set out to meet these high standards. Their goal was to construct a blockchain appropriate for the age of the metaverse, inspired by the idea of a high-volume transaction network that is seamless over the internet and mobile telephone networks, and in which security and privacy are preserved by attaching digital assets to digital identities. Brands can provide greater consumer benefits in blockchain-based metaverse environments, such as improved involvement and virtual item ownership. While many brands have started to engage users through connected environments, blockchain networks enable digital asset ownership while demonstrating the true power of Web3. Owners in Decentraland can use the marketplace to transact or transfer parcels and other in-game items, such as wearables and unique names. Landholders can leverage their blockchain real estate to host exhibitions and concerts, run competitions, and even monetize content creation. The main goal of the Sandbox platform is to successfully introduce blockchain technology into mainstream gaming. The platform focuses on providing a creative play-to-earn model, which allows users to be both creators and gamers at the same time. Blocktopia is a VR metaverse game. Blocktopia utilizes Polygon blockchain for offering the four primary functionalities of learning, earning, playing, and creating. Metaverses are positioned to become a central feature in the next phase of blockchain games on the internet by combining the immersive settings of virtual reality, VR, the engaging playability of video games, the networked engagement of social media, and the value exchange of crypto. There are thousands of cryptocurrencies, each with its own protocol. The Ethereum protocol, for example, is built around smart contracts, which are transactions or agreements that execute automatically when specific conditions are satisfied. Because protocols are so complex, it's usually best to engage with specialized blockchain development firms that have delivered blockchain development solutions before. If you want to be a part of the Metaverse and NFT universe, you can purchase relevant crypto tokens from platforms. The Metaverse's money is a cryptocurrency, and each Metaverse has its own set of coins. They're used to pay for everything, from NFTs to virtual real estate to avatar shoes. Metaverse tokens are a type of virtual currency used in the metaverse to conduct digital transactions. Transactions on the underlying networks are near instantaneous because metaverses are based on the blockchain. The metaverse is the ideal environment for an economy free of corruption and financial fraud, since blockchains are built to ensure trust and security. Decentraland uses the market for Mana token. Sandbox uses the Sand token, which enables transactions on this platform. To verify transactions and extend their operations, they use Ethereum's network. Axie Infinity uses AXS token. SushiSwap uses Sushi, etc. As a result, while the platforms themselves may have been created on Mana or Sand, Ethereum is used for everything behind the scenes. On OpenSea, the world's largest NFT platform, Ethereum is also the favored currency. Furthermore, the majority of NFTs can be acquired directly from a crypto wallet with ETH. If you're looking to buy Metaverse tokens, you can do it in any cryptocurrency exchange. For example, if you're going to buy Metaverse tokens on Binance, there are a few steps to follow. Make a fiat deposit in USD or convert fiat to BUSD or USDT. Then buy desired Metaverse cryptocurrency. To use your Metaverse tokens in the game, move them from your Binance address to MetaMask, a versatile crypto wallet that is integrated with most metaverses. On Binance and other exchanges' websites, you can find detailed instructions on how to buy Metaverse tokens. For beginners, it should be noted that before trading in an exchange office, they must make an account and verify it. Then you can choose how you want to pay, by bank transfer, card deposit, or credit card. Don't forget your wallet. Among other things, you'll need it for shopping. Traditional digital items, such as music, movies, games, and software, will be available for purchase. You'll be able to purchase objects from the physical world in the metaverse. And you'll be able to see and hold 3D versions of what you're buying, which could help you make better selections. Crypto wallets will be linked to real-world identities, which may make transactions that require legal verification easier, such as buying a real-world car or home. You won't have to remember login credentials for all the websites and virtual worlds you visit, because your ID will be linked to your wallet. Simply connect your wallet with a click, and you'll be signed in. ID-linked wallets will also be handy for regulating access to sections of the metaverse that are restricted to people of a certain age. On a metaverse platform, NFT virtual land is an ownable area of digital land. Decentraland, The Sandbox, and Axie Infinity are some of the most popular NFT land projects. Because each NFT is unique, they are well suited to expressing land ownership. They also make it simple to show digital ownership. NFT land can be used for a variety of purposes, including advertising, socializing, gaming, and work. Decentraland users claim ownership of virtual lands through a blockchain-based ledger of encoded parcels, and each piece of land is marked by a distinct set of Cartesian coordinates. Content can range from static 3D scenes to interactive systems such as games. Many Decentraland users are currently monetizing their land through rental, advertising, and paid experience. Similarly, other users generate revenue by creating and selling items on the Decentraland market for mana tokens. In most cases, the landowner can use their plot to host online experiences, display content, or receive gaming perks. Large corporations and celebrities, such as Adidas and Snoop Dogg, have begun to invest and use NFT land. In December 2021, someone paid nearly $450,000 worth of crypto to buy a land plot in the Sandbox near Snoop Dogg's villa. Snoop tweeted about the news. That's a bargain. The utility, project, and market speculation all influence the value of the land. NFT land can be purchased directly from a project or on the secondary market via an NFT exchange like Binance, NFT Marketplace, or OpenSea. Most NFT land sales have achieved prices that are higher than those of physical properties, making the concept difficult to fathom for some. In fact, there are many parallels between NFT land and traditional real estate. However, being a blockchain-based digital asset, NFT land has certain distinct characteristics to investigate. Before you buy, make sure you understand the dangers and potential uses of the land and the project it's involved with. In some circumstances, renting rather than purchasing NFT land may be preferable. The metaverse is a virtual reality environment. A private world is a private or exclusive part of the metaverse that can only be accessed by its creator and those they approve to enter. A private world can be essentially anything the creator wants. For example, skyscrapers, an art museum, a gigantic shopping mall with stores and movie theaters, etc. Unlike most virtual reality apps, the metaverse isn't a single software platform that can be built using your usual agile development model. The metaverse will require a more complex and resilient set of interoperability and live synchronous experience. The first step starts with an idea. If you want to sail into the world of metaverse, you have to start with the idea. Think about it first. The ideas are endless, and it is up to you to choose the most interesting one. Set your requirements. It will be enough if your idea brings tangible benefits to the target audience or somehow improves one of the elements of the metaverse. Find the best metaverse development company. The development company will develop your idea. The platform should have experience in the niche you have chosen. The platform must support assets, realistic characters, and accessories. There are many development companies that you can reach to help you build a metaverse platform. Perform a business analysis. You need to decide on the business part of the future project. Start building a metaverse by analyzing the market, competitors, and target audience. Based on the information obtained, you will compile a list of functions and requirements for the project. Design apps UI or UX. Then the information architecture of the system is created. User flows are developed and optimized, and user interface design is developed. This is what UKS or UI designers do. The result of their work will be a prototype, an animated visualization of the interface in the form in which it will be presented to the end users. Test the app before deploying. QA specialists check the created product for bugs, functionality, usability, load, compliance with the specifications prescribed in the technical task. All of this usually takes about 20% of the development time. If your application uses smart contracts, they also need to be tested. Deploy. Once the application is built and thoroughly tested, it is deployed to local or cloud servers. If this is a mobile application, then it must be added to the stores of mobile applications, App Store, Google Play, Microsoft Store, and so on. Maintenance and support. Organize a support service that will help users solve problems with your application and collect feedback from them. As we said earlier in this course, many companies are building a metaverse nowadays. Meta, Epic Games, Niantic, Nvidia, Microsoft, Decentraland, Apple, and Sony. But no single company will own the metaverse. But you can join Metaverse. If your business is tightly connected to the internet, content, learning, selling, or games, you will need to have a metaverse, or at least a tiny part that can be integrated into another meta world. Companies are letting individuals create and own avatars that can apply for jobs and build careers in the metaverse, and earn real money for their owners. Remember, all types of activities can take place inside the metaverse, and users need an incentive strong enough to want to enter and stay in it. It's now extremely simple to download and develop your own 3D world, which you can share with friends, family, or the rest of the internet. All you need is a device like a phone or a computer, although laptops tend to function better in this situation than phones, as well as some type of software like Unity 3D. Horizon Workrooms from Facebook, a VR platform for remote work designed for virtual meetings with coworkers as avatars, is one example of such metaverse applications. Or there's always Second Life, a real-life online simulator with a lot of features. Roblox, an online platform that allows anyone to create and play games created by others, is another example. Roblox is, in fact, a pre-designed metaverse, although one without virtual reality and limited to video game and entertainment ventures. Avatars in Roblox may already roam across gaming realms while maintaining their identity, appearance, and wardrobe. Virtual conferences and performances are also held on Roblox. The platform's own currency, Robux, is also available. Follow the guide to creating a world after you've downloaded and installed the app on your device. When you're finished with the tutorial, you'll have a working 3D environment that you can share with others or keep private for those you wish to share it with. Users purchase NFTs tied to a specific plot of land to symbolize the area's unique ownership. These plots are available for purchase either directly from the project or on the secondary market. What you can accomplish with NFT land varies depending on the project. So, now you are probably asking yourself, why should you buy land in Metaverse? Fashion. The Metaverse will help the economy flourish in a variety of ways. Let's have a look at a couple of different development paths. Big brands from the fashion industry are entering the space. As already mentioned, Nike, Adidas, Dolce & Gabbana, Burberry, Gucci, and Samsung. All of the main clothing labels are expected to offer collections that your digital identity can wear online soon. Entertainment. In the Metaverse, downtime can quickly take on a new meaning. The Metaverse takes entertainment to a whole new level, from networking with real-life users to making friends with AI-driven avatars, to seeing your favorite artists lead a mind-blowing virtual concert. One of the Metaverses dedicated to out-of-this-world experiences is Sensorium Galaxy. This Metaverse features a huge musical offering that appeals to a whole universe of listeners, thanks to collaborations with some of the world's greatest artists, including David Guetta, Armand van Buuren, Stevie Aoki, and others. The real estate. Metaverse allows users to view and explore properties without having to commute or meet with real estate agents in person. Thousands of private and corporate real estate investors will be able to purchase properties all over the world as a result of this, and it will be much easier for them to do so. While real-world real estate might be out of reach, buying a plot of virtual land, on the other hand, could make you very rich. Corporate. Working online is already a reality for many of us, with a large portion of the world's population switching to remote employment during the COVID-19 epidemic. As Meta, has previously demonstrated with Horizon Workrooms, the Metaverse would just be a continuation of that. Others, such as Microsoft, are following suit, and we can only anticipate more businesses attempting to send their employees into the Metaverse. Art industry. The Metaverse is closely linked to digital art, which has been transformed by blockchain technology and the concept of non-fungible tokens. The value of non-fungible tokens is leveraged by Metaverse, which enables for greater exhibition and utilization of digital art. These are only a few of the many ways that Metaverse business models will likely intersect with real-world business structures. As augmented reality technology becomes more prevalent, such examples will get more complicated, further combining features of the Metaverse with the physical world. Although the Metaverse as a whole hasn't arrived yet, technological foundations such as blockchain and crypto assets are rapidly being built, laying the groundwork for a seemingly ubiquitous virtual future that will eventually arrive near you. Several virtual real estate projects are now launching in the Metaverse. The concept is similar to that of purchasing an NFT. You own this digital asset, and because it is stored on the blockchain, anyone can check its legitimacy. You can subsequently sell your virtual land if it grows in value, or you can rent it out. Yeah, that's a thing, for parties or special events. You may also use it to create a virtual property and rent it out, or you can use it to create a digital art gallery where emerging artists can show off their work. Popular NFT land projects include Decentraland and Sandbox. If you want to buy through a third party, then OpenSea is a great option. For first-time customers, OpenSea is an excellent option because it allows you to shop around without having to transfer platforms regularly. Based on the virtual community in which the plot is located, you may evaluate pricing, amenities, and value. To use apps, you'll need to install the MetaMask Chrome extension, which is an online wallet for digital assets. To do it properly, go to the MetaMask website, click Get a Chrome extension, and install MetaMask. Then, click Add to Chrome in the upper right corner. Click Add Extension, and you're done. Click on the MetaMask logo and agree with the terms and conditions after you read them. Create a wallet by entering your password. You will see a set of 12 seed words for your vault. Click Save Seed Words as File and copy the MetaMask seed words file that is downloaded to a safe place. You will need it to access your vault. Click I've copied it somewhere safe once your seed words file has been secured. You'll be taken into your MetaMask wallet. Then you must fund it with one of two Ethereum-based cryptocurrencies, Sand for sandbox plots, or Mana for Decentraland properties. You're ready to shop for virtual real estate once your MetaMask wallet is fully filled. Choose the filter that best fits your needs, e.g. newest, oldest, lowest price, or highest price. After browsing different pieces of land, all you have to do is to click on a piece of land that you want to buy to see the available information. You can look at the pricing and submit a bid, or you can buy the item altogether. However, before you can purchase, you must first link your wallet to the platform. Your virtual real estate will be sent to your wallet once you join up and confirm your purchase. You will become the legal owner of that virtual asset, and anyone can use the blockchain to verify its legitimacy. It's important to remember that there will be a gas fee, so make sure you have a little extra cash more than the amount shown on the screen. You can also place a bid if you like. This gives you some wiggle room because the owners have the option of accepting or rejecting it. A piece of digital real estate in Decentraland recently sold for $2.5 million. What made it worth $2.5 million? That stretch of digital land has been designated as Decentraland's downtown fashion district, with the aim that real-life luxury businesses may wish to lease space or, at the very least, place advertisements there. There are, fortunately, cheaper property plots available. Sure, they're in the worst parts of the sandbox or Decentraland, but the chances are good that their worth will rise with time. The cheapest virtual area is a little under $10,000. If your land is in a popular area or receives a lot of visitors, you can charge for advertising. Your land could also give you an advantage in a blockchain video game. Because of NFTs' rapid growth, there are many frauds out there that you should be aware of. Always purchase from official, reliable platforms. NFT land can also be rented or even donated. You may not need to purchase land depending on your demands. You might wish to have an event in a popular neighborhood, for example. If the platform you're using allows you to rent, the price you'll pay is determined by the amount of traffic on the plot, its closeness to other significant plots, and its size. Not all NFT projects will succeed, so make sure to consider the financial risk before buying NFT lands. If you buy land that has no use or demand, you might end up holding it forever. Therefore, there's a potentially massive opportunity ahead. Buying imaginary land in a virtual environment for thousands, if not millions of dollars, seems ludicrous. But in recent months, we've seen significant investments in virtual land within the metaverse. It's vital to remember that metaverse real estate investment is still highly speculative. No one knows whether this surge will be the next big thing or the next big bubble. While investors and corporations now dominate this market, not all metaverse real estate is worth millions. When you acquire a physical property in the actual world, you get something tangible, a place to live, something to be proud of, and somewhere to welcome family and friends. Even though the virtual property does not give physical shelter, there are some similarities. You may purchase a plot of land to build on when looking for virtual real estate. You might even choose a house that has already been built and that you like. You might personalize it with a variety of digital things. Visitors may be invited, And you could also visit other people's virtual homes.